So the leaks for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 31 have been released, and these are the full leaks, and I didn't think that we were gonna get it, especially due to how people were on Twitter about it being leaked, but I guess we have it for this chapter. But I don't know how long we'll keep getting spoilers, but since you guys said if the spoilers are released to cover them, I will be covering them in this video. But I will be making a post in the months to come about whether you guys actually want spoilers to be discussed, or you guys would rather have the sneak peeks that are leaked to be discussed themselves, to keep and generate more hype for the actual release. So you guys let me know in the comments for this video. So before we jump in, a lot of people also do ask me about why I don't show them is because of copyright, and a lot of people have been getting striked recently in this past few months. I also received a strike for showing something that had Japanese text, so that's why you're not going to see anything but probably hear it on this page. So the chapter cover for this chapter is Eida, and she's looking amazing. And we start off the chapter right where we left off, where we have a Kobu and multiple Mamushi clones that are heading his way. We see Mamushi just like we did in the sneak peek page, who is rushing towards Kobu. And Inogen had two decisions. The first option for Inogen is to stay in his body and run away and help Kobu out, or it is to leave Kobu in that situation and cancel his jutsu. But we see Inogen take a decision that I really admire. It is that he stays in his body and he ends up trying to dodge around some of the Mamushi clone's ability, and he is capable of reacting to that. He moves away just in time, and he ensures that Kobu doesn't end up getting killed. And we see him discuss it. We don't necessarily know what is being discussed as it's not translated, but we then end up going to Eida and Damon. And we have Eida and Damon who are basically discussing the fact that Inogen has stopped the communication, so they don't really know what is going on. And this is something I theorized was going to happen. We see Damon who alludes to the fact that Eida should end up using her Sharingan, but she says that using her Sharingan, it would allow Mamushi to end up seeing her. And my guess was that Eida using the Sharingan would allow Mamushi to figure out exactly where Eida is. So due to the fact that we have an Inogen who is not using the jutsu, Eida may feel cornered or may feel forced to use the Sharingan to figure out what is happening. And by doing so, she will indirectly reveal her location to Mamushi. I don't know what the text is saying, but it appears like maybe this could end up being the case, but we don't really know. We don't really know if it's true or not. We're just seeing what is happening. But we end up seeing Eida and Delta, and a lot of people wanted to see them fight and do something interesting in this chapter, and it's exactly what we seem to be getting. But there is a major problem. Why are the Mamushi clones fighting each other? We literally see a pair of the Mamushi clones, they are yelling at each other for some odd reason. I don't know why, but they seem to be yelling at each other. And due to whatever argument they appear to be having, they start striking each other. So there seems to be some unbalance and some unresolved conflict going on between the Mamushi clones. And what is very important is that maybe due to their lack of intelligence, they're just getting mad at each other for the dumbest thing. Or maybe something weird is happening. Maybe it's the bug in the Mamushi clones strategy, I don't know. So one of the Mamushi clones basically starts fighting the other, and we literally see this taking place in front of the citizens. And one of the other Mamushi clones resorts to using a fire style to take him out, and all of this is happening around Konoha citizens, and they start running. We go back to Shikamaru inside, we see them discussing, don't really know what is being talked about, but then, due to everything that is happening, due to Sarada seeing this, and the Mamushi clones starting to go crazy, I don't know why, but Sarada decides that yeah, it's time to start fighting, regardless of what Shikamaru is saying or not saying, because we know that Shikamaru is talking aside and has to deal with this whole conversation, and we know that Inogen is not able to share the transmission because he used the jutsu to control Kobu's body. So because of all of those factors, Sarada is forced to make up her own mind and act. Sarada, due to that very own same fact, is using her Mangekyu Sharingan ability, and she always looks clean when she's using it. We see her use multiple of the orbs to end up bringing all of the Mamushi clones in her vicinity up in the air. And this is exactly what I said. Sarada has the most broken ability for this battle, and her using it is very key. But it didn't appear that Kashin Koji wanted her to use it this early on in the battle. That's why Shikamaru was always telling her to wait to fight. Is there a specific reason why? I don't necessarily know. But we end up seeing Sarada basically go crazy. The Mamushi clones were trying to come behind her. They simply get absorbed. You can literally not be able to touch Sarada when she's using these abilities. And that's why I love the fact that we get to see it more. This ability is literally broken. How can you defeat this ability? I'm really questioning what is the weakness of this ability apart from Sarada having to cancel that ability herself. There's literally nothing you can do. So Sarada ends up using this ability, attracts all of the Mamushi clones towards one of the orbs, and we also see Delta getting the action. I really love Delta's style with the legs. I always loved it when I saw her fight versus Naruto, and I'm happy to see it now. Let me know if you guys want some fight analysis like I've done with Boruto in the time skip and his sword style. But we see Eida going crazy. She's able to fight multiple of the Mamushi clones, and we end up seeing her use some of her lasers. And then she goes down with two of her legs and she ends up piercing them in their eyes. And then we end up seeing a Sarada who uses her Mangekyou Sharingan ability and she destroys all of the Mamushi clones that were in that vicinity. But as she is doing that, we can clearly see that Sarada, she falls down and she is starting to lose her vision, which is very, very interesting that it is happening this early. Who was the earliest to start losing their vision after using the Mangekyou Sharingan abilities? I think it was either Sasuke or somebody else. Let me know in the comment section. But yeah, she's starting to lose her vision. It is not completely gone. I think she is hazed at the moment, but she is starting to lose her vision when she is looking at Delta. And this may be a very important clue as to what may come next. So now we end up going back to Kobu. And due to the fact that Kobu is really not a ninja and has never really fought in his life, we have an indigent who is struggling to control his body to move out of Mamushi's way. And due to that very own same fact, we end up seeing that the transferring jutsu is cancelled. I don't know if Kashin Koji is the one who did something to Inogen, and that's the reason why, because we do see Kashin Koji's fingers, but the jutsu is cancelled. And what we end up seeing is an Inogen who directly ends up using his new ability to communicate to what it looks like to be Sai Shikamaru and tell them about what is happening. And this is where we end up seeing a Sai and a Shikamaru who run towards Mamushi. And they're doing this to prevent Mamushi from being able to kill him. But Mamushi is ugly, man. I'm not gonna lie, this dude is ugly, bro. If you see what I'm seeing, bro, his mouth. I like Mamushi's design. People call Mamushi's design. I think it fits the character. Like, he's very ugly. But bro, this panel really, like, I think there's so many meme potential with this panel. Y'all have to get to it. But we end up seeing Mamushi who throws this fire style towards Kobu, and just like I told you guys, it's literally in the writing. Boruto comes and saves the day, just as I knew that he was going to do. So anybody who doubted me, just like we see it in this chapter, look, you just have to analyze the character and you'll figure out everything that character is going to do. Boruto comes in, slices all of the Mamushi clones, and he saves the day. So we end up seeing that Boruto basically uses his karma to end up taking away all of the fire that is in Kobu's vicinity. Kobu is just chilling, looking at everything that happened, and I really like the way that, look, I had this question about how is Boruto, who uses his karma in the same hand that he uses his sword, how is he going to be able to use the sword and the karma at the same time? And now we see it. We almost have him using a jutsu for the karma absorption, even though it's not actually a jutsu and he's just trying to move his fingers out of the way so he can absorb it. But I really like what we're seeing here, and maybe him absorbing it is going back to the sword. You remember that Boruto's sword, it has some sort of scientific properties to it. Maybe we have something interesting happening here because it is all linked. This is just like me thinking of a theory off the top of my head. But we end up seeing that Kobu is saved, and he must most definitely know everything that is going on. And due to Shikamaru and Inogen trying to save him, I don't know exactly what Kobu is thinking right now, what he is saying, if he is mad at Shikamaru or he is potentially mad at Inogen, because you could know that Inogen is the one who is controlling his body. But since he never met Inogen before, he has no information, but it's going to be very interesting what takes place. But Kashin Koji had a couple words, and I don't know what Kashin Koji says, but it's not looking good because Boruto has a very weird reaction to whatever Kasha is saying. So now we end up going back to a Sarada, who is absolutely fine. She is not in like any critical condition. She's moving towards a point. Inogen has restored everything. And I don't know if this Kobu situation is dealt with in this chapter, but we end up seeing everybody rally up to a certain point. And Shikamaru, who is now ready to put on the final performance, ready to get rid of Momushi. That's what it looks like as we see a Kawaki with his karma activated. Shikamaru appears to be telling people, yes, we are putting the plan into action, because we did have a plan that Shikamaru was trying to put into play before the interrogation ended up taking place. But yes, this is what we're seeing taking place right now. This is where the chapter appears to end and the spoilers are. So you guys definitely let me know how you guys feel about the spoilers that we're getting this week. And in addition, let me know what you guys want to see moving forward. Do you guys want to see no spoilers being discussed and just a sneak peek, or you guys don't really care? You guys want to see the entire spoilers if they are released? Let me know that in the comment section below. It's been your boy Dynasty, and I'm out, bruh.